every day better by the dozen. I almost went with Dirty Dozen, but I actually had a pretty good day today, and so Dirty Dozen didn't feel appropriate. I had an unexpected day off from my day job, so I got to spend some time on other stuff. I had a really interesting discussion with my partner about the things I was said in my day 11 update. And, we agreed on some things and disagreed on others, but it was interesting to discuss our positions on those ideas. I have not always in my life been in situations where that was encouraged. So I'm grateful for that. I went to a farmer's market where one of my sort of stepdaughters works and got to see her win a pie baking contest, which was really cool and tasty. I ate way too much pie. I regret nothing. I got to have a little nap, which, as I am rapidly barreling toward 50, is a less of a luxury and more of a necessity on the days that I can afford to take the time. I worked on some of the final pieces of editing, design, and mixing for an audiobook client. She wrote a memoir that is mostly about the experience she's had parenting her daughter, who at the time of writing the book, I think was on the verge of turning 6. It incorporates typewritten text that her mother created, recording conversations with the author and her brother when they were children. And so I found some ways to sonically set that apart from the rest of the text and shared them with her and gave her a handful of options to choose from. And there was one that she really liked, and then I made another tweak and she liked it even better, which was really cool. I got a mix done in advance for another client, the podcast Enterprise Splaining, which I will link to in the show notes. Some friends of mine are doing an episode-by-episode recap of Star Trek Enterprise. They're doing it in a way where one of them watches the show and then explains it to the other two. Occasionally they have a guest, but usually it's just the three of them, and it is both interesting and entertaining. And I'll link to it in the show notes. You should check it out. I got to hang out with my partner. She made a really yummy salad for dinner. We watched a couple episodes of TV shows that we liked. And now I'm doing this. I had originally planned to do this episode with none of what I call vanity editing when it's myself, leaving in my extraneous pauses, retakes, restarts, that kind of thing. But I've jumped around too much in this chronology to really make that feasible. So you're going to hear this one chopped up a little bit. So yeah, it was a good day. And I'm grateful for it. Something, though, about it being a good day that is part of my growing awareness of myself and my history and the things I'm recovering from is about how I feel about good things when they happen to me. Somewhere along the way, and maybe there's a biological predisposition, maybe there's a chemical imbalance, or maybe it is all socialized. I don't know. I'm betting it's some combination thereof, but at any rate, my capacity to feel positive things, happiness, excitement, pride, anticipation, joy, my access to those feelings has really withered. It's fairly easy to feel frustration, anxiety, disappointment, anger, annoyance, especially when it's self-directed. I feel those things not just easily, but with a fair amount of intensity. But their flip side, positive siblings. Somewhere along the way, I lost access to or just got out of the habit of feeling them. And it's been so consistent for so long that I didn't even really notice it. And it's only been in the last year plus that I've really started to realize how my emotional experience differs from people around me. And so when I have good days like today, I am grateful, but I'm also very conscious of how much I experience that goodness on an intellectual level and not actually on an emotional level. So I've been doing some reading and some thinking and some research, and I think that there are ways that I can hopefully start reclaiming some of that ability to experience positive emotions, but it's slow going. And in the meantime, I'm still in the realizing how bad the problem is phase. And of course, that's an important part of the process, but it is frustrating in its own way to have a much clearer picture of the extent of the injury and only just beginning to scratch the surface of how to address it. So, but I wanted to make sure to remind myself about the good things that happened today because I am, for now, intellectually hopeful that in the not too distant future, fingers crossed, I will be able to look back at the memories of this day and feel them more fully than I can now. So, here's to a good day. I hope you had one as well. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you again soon.